Om Shuklam Bharadharam Vishnum Shashivarnam Chaturbhujam Prasannavadanam Dhyayet Sarvabhignopashantaye Saraswati Namastubhyam Varade Kamarupini Vidyarambham Karishyami Siddhir me sada Yenakshara samamnayam Adhigamya maheshwarat Kritsnam vyakaranam proktam Tasmai paninaye namaha Vakyakaram vararuchim Bhashyakaram patanjalim Paninim Sutrakarancha Pranatosmi Munitrayam Vagartha Viva Samprukto Vagartha Pratipattaye Jagadav Pitaro Vande Parvati Parameshwarao Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. Namaste everyone, welcome to class. Nice to see everyone. So we will continue with our warm-up. So in the warm-up it says we're parsing sentences. These happen to be all in Karmani Prayoga, right? So we look at number 10. We'll do it quickly, so I won't write anything. I'll just say it out loud. You can kind of say along with me. So we always want to look at the verb first, right? So we pick up the verb, vrikshaha sprishyate. So the verb, the tingantam padam is sprishyate. Now there's two parts in a verb, right? There's a dhatuhu. So here it's sprish dhatu. That's 6p to touch. Lat lakaraha, so present tense. Karmani prayoga, because there's a yakara and atmanepada type suffix. So it's karmani prayoga. So lat lakara, karmani prayoga. Then pratama purusha, ekavachanam. So he, she, it touches. What? Oh no, it is touched. Sorry, karmani, touched. So what is touched? Vrikshaha. Vrikshaha. So this is so this is a Subantam Padam. In Subantam Padam, there's two parts, Pratipadikam. So this is Vriksha is the Pratipadikam, Akaranta, Punlinga, and then Pratipadikam, and then there's Supratyaya. Supratyaya, this is Prathama Vibhaktihi, Ekavachanam, 1-1. So like Ramaha, Vrikshaha. Now Vibhakti Artha, what is the meaning of the Vibhakti? It is, we're in Karmani Prayoga, so this is Karmani Prathama. First case in the sense of object. So what is touched? The tree is touched. So the whole translation is, the tree is touched. Okay, we won't do number 12, we'll just go on for the sake of time. But if you have any questions, let me know. Nyadatu is 9p, so just something to know. Okay, so close this. So we can look at our first case again, right? Ramaha, Ramo, Ramaha. That's all we've gotten so far, but that's okay, right? In the first case, we've covered that it can be used to express the karta, the doer in active voice, in kartari prayoga. So when we're in kartari prayoga, the first case is usually the karta. It's the doer of the action. So the example is Devadatta Pashyati. Who sees? Devadatta sees. It's the doer of seeing. But when we're in Karmani Prayoga, passive voice, the first case is used to express the karma, object. of action. So in that sense, it's karmani prathama. So gajaha drishyante. Drishyante, karmani prayoga. So it's seen. What is seen? Gajaha. So the object. So the elephants are not seeing. The elephants are seen. So they're the object. So first case can be used to express the karta in kartari prayoga or karma in karmani prayoga. Okay, that's really important to catch on to because that's without that we can't really go much further. So if you let me know if you have any questions with those two. It can also be used to express sambodhana, right? So when I'm calling out to someone, you can use sambodhanam. Sometimes the first 1-1 case is different than sambodhana, so we write S1 or S3, for example. And it's calling out. So, hey Rama, oh Rama, it's calling out. So we use that first case. It's still the first case, even though we call it sambodhana, and sometimes it looks a little bit different. Okay, so going back to our Rama Shabda, now we can look at second case, which is exciting. Exciting for me. I don't know if it's exciting for anyone else. Maybe that's why I'm teaching this. So second case, you can see it's called Dutiya Vibhakti. So you can repeat after me. Dutiya Vibhakti. Ramam Ramo Raman. Ramam Ramo Raman. Okay, so Ramam, Ramo, Raman. So you see it. Let's do this. So you see it at the top of the screen there. Ramam, Ramo, Raman. So far we have first case, Ramaha, Ramo, Ramaha. Then second case, Ramam, Ramo, Raman. So this is in your book, so you can follow along. Let's find what page. This is page 89 in your book, if you want to look at this chart. Page 89 in your book 1. But we're not going to stay here long, so. Now, if we look at this, there's some things we can see, right? So if I take the pratipadika, let me type it. So the pratipadika is Rama. If I want to make a second case, the first thing I can do, so I'm going to put a number 1, is I add, right, ma to the end of the pratipadika. Right, so I add ma to the end. So if I'm doing that, this will be Ramam. Right, so Rama plus ma, so Ramam. So then the second thing is, so this is Prathama Vibhakti Dvivachanam, so dual. I will remove the at the end of the word. Or let's change it. We can say just replace the with let's see if I can make this with O. So place the with O. So we get Ramo. So Ramam, Ramo. And then the last one, so Prathama Vibhakti Bahuvachan, or sorry, Dutiya Vibhakti Bahuvachanam. Oh, so sorry, this should be changed. what we can do is, so we want to get Raman. So elongate the last akara, right? So it becomes Rama, and then add na, nakara. Okay, so we add ma to the end in 2-1. So we get Ramam. Then we replace the a with o, so we get Brahmo. And then the last one is we elongate the last akara and then na, so we get Raman. Now we can do this with any of the words. So if you look up in the book, you can see this at the bottom of the page, right? So acharya. So let's do it together. So what is the second case? Acharyam, acharyo, acharyan. Now let's go to the next word, Ishvara. Ishvaram, Ishvaro, Ishvaran. Okay, now say guna by yourself. Gunam, guno, yep, and gunan. Yeah, so gunaha, guno, gunaha, gunam, guno, gunan. Okay, so in your book, by the way, there are these charts in your workbook, so you could fill out the second case. We were going to do that, but I don't think we need to. I don't think it's too difficult. So, but if we need more practice, we can do that. But this is in your workbook. You can do some more exercises if you need practice with that. Okay, so now let's go to page 77 in your book. 77. This is, what is the vibhakti arthaha? So vibhakti arthaha, arthaha means meaning of the vibhakti. What is the meaning of the second case? So how do we, what does the second case give us in meaning? So you're on page 77. And the first thing you see, that second case is used to express the karma. So Dutiya Vibhaktihi is used to express karma, but this is really important when we're in Kartri Prayoga, okay? Why that's important? Because if it's Karmani Prayoga, what will be the case of the karma? First case. First case will be karma, object, when we're in Karmani Prayoga, but if we're in Kartari Prayoga, then it's the second case. Karma gets second case. Okay, let me say that again. When we're in Karmani Prayoga, the object is told by the first case. Where in Kartari Prayoga, active voice, the object is told by the second case. Okay, so we're in Kartari Prayoga, the object of the verb gets the second case. And when that happens, this is called Karmani Dvitiya. So repeat after me. Karmani Dvitiya. Karmani Dvitiya. Okay, so Dvitiya means second. Karmani means in the sense of object. So second case, in the sense of the object. So example here, right? Devadattaha gajan pashyati. So pashyati, sees. Who sees? Devadatta sees. Now Devadatta sees what? Gajan. Okay, so that with reference to the action of seeing, that Gaja elephant is the karma object. Right? He sees the elephants. Therefore, Gaja is given the second case. Because it's the object, it's given the second case. In Kartari Prayoga, in active voice. Let me know if I'm going too fast. You can just put a question mark in the chat, or you can send me a private message, okay? I'm just seeing some faces, and the faces look happy and okay. So I can't see all the faces at one time in this view. So let me know. Okay, so second case, the karaka that is connected to usually is karma karaka, the object. Now we can do some practice with this. Let's do some practice. Okay, before we do that, let's look at this. A destination of a going or moving action is also considered to be a karma object, right? So a destination, if I'm going somewhere, that destination, for example, I'm flying to Florida, right? Florida is my destination. That's my karma. Now that can be put in second case or fourth case optionally, but we don't know fourth case yet. Second or fourth case. Okay, so here it says Devadattaha gramam gacchati. Gacchati goes. Devadatta, who goes? Devadatta goes, and he goes where? To the village. So the village is the object of going. But we want to note that also the fourth case can be in the fourth case as well. Okay. So grama is the karma of the verb, therefore it's in second or fourth case. Yeah, Hariprasad ji.
Yes, sir. Do you recommend second case or the fourth case in such cases?
It actually doesn't matter. So either one is perfectly fine.
Okay.
Whatever, usually for me, the second case that will come to my mind easier because object, I also like, right, if I'm going to the village, that preposition to kind of makes me think of second case. So often I would write that second case, but fourth case is equally fine.
Yeah, in fourth case, we say to such Ramaya.
Yeah, or for such, yeah.
Okay, so you prefer second case, okay.
Well, the answer is that I don't have there's no preference, but I personally would probably do it in second case.
Okay.
But that's just a personal thing, has nothing to do with.
Okay.
Okay, so let me point that out. One thing I want to note here is when translating the second case, when in karmani, when it's the object, okay, then the preposition to is often used. Okay. So sometimes he goes where? He goes to the forest. So that second case, we often translate, we use that preposition to. Yeah. So that word to is often added. I don't know if we would technically call it a preposition, but that's fine. It's we go to the forest. Okay, now let's stop there. Let's do an example of this, and then we'll come back and we'll do that second part of the second case. So I'm going to pull up my camera. Hopefully you can see okay. One second. Okay, let's pull this up. Okay, so we're going to the back of the book. In the back of the book, there's exercise number 10. Okay, exercise number 10 in the back of the book. So if someone can tell me what page, or I'll try to find it quickly. That's page 171. Exercise number 10. We'll look at number 1 there. Okay, number 1 in exercise number 10. So I'll kind of lead us through this and then you can help me with the next one that we do. But Purusho Acharyam Namataha. Okay, so we always want to start with finding the verb in the sentence. So Tingantam Padam. The Tingantam Padam is Namataha. Dhatu of Namataha is Nam Dhatu, 1P, to salute. Right, Dhatu and then Ting Pratyaya. My Pratyaya is, this is Lat Lakaraha. This is Kartari Prayoga, because I don't have the indications for Karmani Prayoga. So this Kartari Prayoga. Prathama Prathama Purusha. And then Dvivachanam, third two. Right? So this is because you see, right? Namati, Namataha, Namanti would be how you conjugate that. So we can also write that up here. So translating so far is something salutes. Salutes. Okay, so next we often want to look for the first case. Okay, the first case, if we're looking at these words, which one looks like a first case? Purusho or Acharyam? Purusho. Purusho can also be second case. It can be 2-2, but since there's no other first, this doesn't look like a first case, so we're going to assume that this is the first case, okay? We're going to assume that this is the first case. You can always do that, but we are practicing, so we could do that. Purusho, Pratipadika, Purusha, which is Akaranta, Punlinga, masculine, Supratyaya, this is Prathama Vibhaktihi, I'm just going to put Vibha, Prathama Vibhaktihi, Dvivachanam, dual. Again, notice how the first case and the verb, they will always have the same number, vachanam. This is talking about two people, namataha. So the first case is going to be having to deal with two people. Vibhakti artaha, this is kartari prayoga, so this is going to be kartari prathama to namataha. It's the doer of action of saluting. So the translation so far is two people salute. Okay, now you can often ask the question, when you're looking for the second case, you can often, or when you're looking for the karma, you can ask what? Acharyam. Pratipadika. Acharya. This is Akaranta. Pullinga. This is Dvitiya Vibhaktihi Ekavachanam 2-1. So I can also write this as 2-1. Vibhakti arthaha, this is Karmani Dvitiya. This is the object of action of saluting. So, translation of this is to the teacher. So, translation is two people salute. You can say to the teacher or just the teacher, either way. Acharyo Purusho Acharyam Namataha. Two people salute the teacher. Okay, does anybody make questions right now? I just want to stop and make sure that this is making sense. That the first case here is in the sense of the doer of action. The second case here is in the sense of the object of action when we're in Kartari Prayoga, when we're in active voice. So two people are saluting the teacher, Acharya. There might be a question about how do I know this vocabulary? This vocabulary is under that Rama Shabda. All the vocabulary that we need is underneath Rama Shabda, and it's there on purpose because these words are very common. So it's worth making, looking over those vocabulary, maybe making flashcards or just reading over those and seeing that vocabulary and getting more familiar with those words. Right? This book is very purposeful in the words that it's chosen. Okay, so let's go to another. Let's go back to our. Let's go back to our board. Okay, next thing I want to talk about is, let's see here. Now there's some, so that was Karaka Vibhakti, and now there's non-Karaka Vibhakti. So there's some words. So second case can also point to things that have nothing to do with with Karta or Karma or any of the 6 Karakas. Okay, so it has nothing to do with Karta or Karma. These just are kind of almost like random ways you can also get the second case. Panini doesn't call it random ways, you can call it the second case. This is what I'm calling it. Okay, other ways you can get the second case is when you have a word which is connected to prati. So any word connected to prati gets the second case. So for example, it says, moksham prati ichha bhavati. So ichha bhavati, there is a desire. Moksham prati. Prati means towards. So towards what? Moksha. So we're saying towards what? Now, the answer to that question gets the second case. Towards what? The answer to that question gets the second case, right? So the word connected to the second case, or sorry, word connected to prati gets the second case. It's the same with the next two, right? So anu and antarena. This is on page 77. So in case you're lost a little bit where we are, it's page 77. the next two things, anu and antarena. So when a word is connected with anu or antarena, that gets the second case. So anu means in keeping with or following. So upadesham anu saha vedan bodhati. So saha bodhati, he understands what? The Veda. Upadesham anu. Anu means in keeping with what? Upadesha, the teaching. So that teaching gets the second case because it's in keeping with what? In keeping with the teaching. Antarena. Antarena is our last one here. So putram antarena devadattaha natushyati. So devadatta. So tushyati is not, or natushyati is not pleased. So devadatta is not pleased. Putram antarena, without the son. So without is connected to son, putram, therefore putram is in the second case. Okay, so you're not expected to translate these sentences as quickly as I'm doing it, right? I mean, it's also written there, but you're not expected to translate. We're just trying to get the idea of prati, anu, and antarena right now, right? Anybody have any questions with that? Okay, so the last, you can let me know. Last thing I want to look at is, so if you go to the back of the book again, I'm making us run back and forth. If you go back to that exercise number 10, you'll see the example at the top. Ramaha acharyam anu gramam gacchati. First thing we want to pick up the verb, right? Verb is gacchati. Gacchati is gam dhatu, to go. The pratyaya is lat lakara, present tense. Kartari prayoga, so active voice. And it's pratama purusha ekavachanam, third one. Okay, so after we find the verb, we want to look for the first case. Okay, that's how this works. So after the verb, so you can write that at the top there on that page. So first find the verb, then number 2, find the first case. So we're going to pull up the first case. So Ramaha. Rama. So you have to scan all the words, find the first case, and then give the information for that. So who goes? Rama goes. So pratipadika Rama. Akarantaha punlingaha Rama shabdaha. The suffix, this is 1-1, right? Prathama vibhaktihi ekavachanam, because it's like, right, Ramaha. And the meaning of the case, vibhakti artaha, this is kartari prathama, so first case in the sense of doer, and connected to gacchati. So who goes? Rama goes. Rama goes where? Okay, so we went from verb to the first case. Now we go from right to left from the verb. Verb to the first case, then we go right to left. So we're going to pick up gramam. Okay, I hope that makes sense. So we did last word, first word, and now we're going all the way from right to left and filling the rest in. So gramam, grama shabda, akaranta punlingaha, ditiya vibhaktihi. So second case, just like ramam, ekavachanam, singular. This is second case in the sense of object. So karmani ditiya is the meaning of the case. We've only one last word, and it's anu. Okay, anu is a particular word. It is a noun, but there's no supratyaya. And because there's no supratyaya, then there's no vibhakti artha. Okay, it's what we call it indeclinable, meaning that it's a noun, but the supratyaya was removed. Okay, so the pratipadika, we just write anu. So translating this, right? We pick up the verb. Verb is goes. First case, who goes? Rama goes. Rama goes where? Then we pick up the next word, gramam, to the village. He goes to village. Acharyam anu. Anu can mean following with, following who? The teacher. Okay, notice how there's two second cases here. First, second case is in the sense of object. The second case is, so the second Dvitiya Vibhakti is Karmani Dvitiya connected to Anu. Oh, so I'm missing a word here. I'm missing Acharyam on the board. That's what happened. But Acharyam gets second case when connected to Anu. So you can see that on page 77. I somehow didn't fit that in this block. Not on, yeah. No, it's in the back of the book. Sorry, not 77. It's in the back of the book. You'll see that Acharyam, there's no Vibhakti Artha. All we have to write is second case connected to Anu. So look at that example when you're doing the homework, okay? So that's helpful if you look at the example. The homework will be to do the even numbers of exercise number 10. Okay, so do the even numbers. If you have difficulties, you can send me an email because this is getting a little bit more complicated as we go along. And I seem to be talking faster as time goes on. So let me know if you have any questions. Let me know if you want to review some of this in our next class. Okay. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Guru Bhyo Namaha Hari Om. We'll come back in 5 minutes at 8:12 for Mundaka Upanishad class. So first class. Okay. Let me know if you have any questions. I'm just turning off my video. Yeah, Neelima ji, you have a question?
Yes. My question is regarding Prathama Vibhakti, non-Karaka Prathama Vibhakti.
Yeah, Sambodhana.
Sambodhana. So the example given over here is Hey Rama Mama Pahi.
Mm-hmm.
So Rama is 1-1, but then they put S1. Just if Hey precedes Rama, does that Rama become automatically Sambodhana?
Yeah, if you're calling it if you're doing the sense of calling, then that will be Sambodhana. In that case, it'll look slightly different than Rama 1-1, right? Because 1-1 Rama is Ramaha, but Sambodhana 1 is just Rama.
So the Visarga goes away then.
Yeah.
I see. Well, thank you.
Yeah.